They've lost 11 of their last 16 games, and 7 were by double digits. The Lakers have dropped from 6th in the West to 10th and are now 4.5 games back of 6th place. And if they are not already there, Kendrick Perkins, how can the Lakers avoid hitting rock bottom?
You know what? Make a move. Make a move. That's how they could avoid it. They have to. I mean, when you look at all the top teams around the Western Conference, they have a third star, a third playmaker. And I understand we want Austin Reeves to be that guy, but he's not providing what you need him to provide. And when LeBron James don't have it going at the point forward position, who else can you put in place to make that team go? They don't have that.
I think the Lakers have reached that spot, Malika, because they're now 39 games into the season. They're under 500. They've seen what this team can do. And importantly, I know that they've had some injuries to role players. AD and LeBron have generally been healthy the whole way. This is then those guys basically at full power. Starting on Monday, their full roster is tradable. I think you will see the Lakers move into a new phase and look to find a deal. That doesn't mean they're going to get one, but I think they will attempt to look into trying to find a deal after Monday.
But is there a player that they need?
So I know everyone's been talking about Zach LaVine. I think his salary is a challenge. I also think that the Lakers want a guy who can play at both ends of the court. So I would think that I don't think Zach LaVine's going to be the answer. I think the Lakers are keeping an eye on Dejounte Murray with the Atlanta Hawks. That's not going to be a simple trade to pull off. It's going to be expensive. Dejounte Murray, however, would give them that guard who plays at both ends and would take some of the ball. He's not a pure point guard, but he could take some of the ball handling pressure off LeBron James.
Atlanta's ready to trade Dejounte Murray. They have given some time to the Trae Young, Dejounte Murray backcourt. I think they're ready to move on from it. Dejounte Murray is the player that they're engaged around the league with, and they have talked to the Lakers. They've exchanged some ideas on a potential trade, but they're engaged with a lot of teams. They gave up a lot for Dejounte Murray. They gave up 2 of their own first-round picks, a pick swap, and a third first-round pick that they had control of. They want to get some value back for him. So you look at that Lakers roster and you see what of value do they have that can compete in the marketplace. I think there's lots of teams interested in him. The question is, how much are they willing to give up for Murray? When you're this far out from the trade deadline, usually you're not getting people's best yet. And so I think the Lakers are going to be in this, but there are a number of teams interested. But I do think the chances of him moving before the deadline are very, very high.
And let me be very, very clear. There's no player out there, whether it's Zach LaVine, Dejounte Murray, I don't know the status of DeMar DeRozan or Pascal Siakam, that's going to help elevate the Lakers to a title contender. They're just going to help them compete in the playoffs, right? So it's not going to be like it's a player out there that they can go grab and all of a sudden they're going to become one of the favorites. No, I'm not saying that, but they're in the worst position right now, and they need to make something happen because the energy is bad. And see, what end up happening is when it's getting close to the trade deadline, right, and guys hear their name being thrown out there, it's hard to buy in. It's hard to give an organization everything that you have. I went through that when I was with the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? I had a heads up that, hey, Perk, you might be getting traded. We had 2 games before that, and it was hard for me to go out there and put my all into it.
But you also know the reality in the NBA. We can probably count on 2 hands the number of guys who are never really in trade talks. Everybody else in the league is. And that's the reality.
Well, and you were setting the market, Woj, and the reality for someone like Dejounte Murray. I guess my question, Brian, is can the Lakers afford to be outbid?
So, as Woj said, they got multiple first-round picks. They gave up multiple first-round picks to acquire Dejounte Murray. So you would have to think that any negotiation with the Lakers would include the 1 first-round pick that they have to trade. But I think the reason the Lakers, would be willing to do something like that is that they've decided they've been playing LeBron at point guard these last handful of games, and his production level has gone down. It's very taxing, as you know, Perk, to get out for LeBron to be out there and play point guard. And his numbers have slipped a little bit. And so, they don't have D'Angelo Russell in the starting lineup. They don't have Austin Reeves in the starting lineup. They've got LeBron in the starting lineup, and you look and see right there, the way LeBron's numbers are affected. So to have another guard, I think, is a priority. The Hawks did sign Murray to a contract extension before the season, but the contract extension was viewed around the league as a reasonable extension. It would not be like Zach LaVine, where that would be like a contract that would be a little bit of a cumbersome. So I think that there's a number of reasons why Dejounte Murray fits, but as Woj says, a lot of people might feel that way.
Yeah, and I think you talked about the draft pick. It would almost assuredly have to be in a deal for Dejounte Murray. I think the question for the Lakers, if they really want to upgrade their roster, are they willing to put Reeves in a deal? And I think on his contract, I think there's a sense of, they'd like to do everything they can to hold on to him, because you create another hole if you do trade him. And so whether he would go to Atlanta or whether it might be a bigger deal, there's always 3 and 4 team discussions going on. I think that's going to be the moment of truth for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers at the trade deadline. I think without putting Reeves in a deal, I think it's harder to get back the kind of difference maker Perk's talking about.
Let's bring Zach Lowe into this discussion. Zach, as you're listening to all this, is there a move that you like the most for the Lakers?
I think Dejounte Murray would be a great fit, but I think Woj just nailed it. If I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I'm asking the Lakers, why am I taking any deal you can offer me that doesn't have Austin Reeves in it? And if I'm the Lakers, I'm saying, wait, we just re-signed Austin Reeves to a great contract. That's kind of a lateral move for us. And so then you start to think bigger. And I had an executive from another team spitball with me yesterday. Could the Lakers, if Reeves is involved, construct a bigger deal where they get Dejounte Murray and Bogdan Bogdanovic, the sharpshooter they so badly need? Now, that's got to include Rui Hachimura and or D'Angelo Russell, more draft compensation, Jordan Hood-Schifino. It just starts to get super complicated, particularly with the Lakers already over the tax and near the hard cap, as Bobby Marks reminded me. These deals, the more players you add to them, the harder they are to construct. But for a player of Dejounte Murray's caliber, I think the Hawks are rightfully going to say, we need Austin Reeves, and the Lakers are going to say, ugh, that doesn't seem awesome for us. It's a tough spot, because, look, I've said it all season. Their offense stinks. They're 24th in offensive efficiency.
We have spent the first 10 minutes of this show talking about the losing side of this coin. So let's give a little love to the Phoenix Suns here. Zach, what stood out to you from the Big Three last night?
Yeah, a team won the game, and a team that has about as much at stake in winning this season as the Lakers do, given what they traded to build this Big Three of Durant, Booker, and Beal. And I just want to highlight a couple of plays, because every game now is going to be, how do these three fit together on offense? Can they maximize their skills? 2 plays stood out. Here's KD bringing the ball up, pass to Nurk, kind of a pick and roll. And look what Anthony Davis has to do on this pitch play. Drop way back, kick back to Nurkic. This is a Draymond Green play. AD are all the way back there, handoff to Booker. He misses an open 3, but I like it because they're going to need to get 3s up. And this made me smile. Brad Beal screening for KD. Which way is the screen going to go? We don't know. And now KD's got the mismatch. Brad Beal rolls into open space. Options all over the place. Those plays are the best Phoenix players amplifying each other, making things easier for each other. Because if it's just your turn, my turn, mid-range 2s, it's too hard even for players of that caliber to win 4 playoff series. So just every game, do we see signs of growth from a team that just hasn't been good enough yet, even with all 3 of their guys in. Last night, signs of growth.
Absolutely. But we already knew that when Phoenix, when they're clicking, could be one of the best offensive teams in the league, right? We know that. But Kevin Durant, I've been begging for him to be a leader, right? And it showed last night from jump ball, from the tip-off, he guarded LeBron James. He did what Kawhi Leonard did to him a couple nights ago. He made it tough on LeBron. LeBron was 3 for 11. KD, couple forced turnovers. We saw it in the highlight.
Right.
When they got in transition, that was because KD was guarding him. LeBron tried to quick spin the activity of the hands. Kevin Durant has to be the leader. We could beg and plead on when Devin Booker is going to take that leap. If this Suns team is going to be a title contender, they have to be led by Kevin Durant, and he has to do it on a night-to-night basis.
When was the last time we saw LeBron James have 10 points in a game?
The night he sprained his ankle against the Hawks a couple years ago and hit a 3 just to keep it alive, the streak alive. I thought they had great spirit, the Suns, last night. Their team had great spirit on the bench. They had great spirit on the court, cheering for each other. They're working on it. Frank Vogel's working on his rotations, trying to figure it out. They're trying to tweak their fourth quarter rotations to deal with that problem. And most importantly, I thought Bradley Beal looked great.
Oh, yeah.
He had an explosive dunk against the Clippers the other day. I was at the game. I was like, wow, he does look like that back is better. He goes 8 of 10 on threes. I know he's not going to do that every night, obviously, but he showed great bounce in his step, and I thought it was a great step forward for the Suns last night.
I thought they were going to leave him in for 40. I really did. I thought he was going to go.
I think he thought so too when they took him out.